Welcome, everyone, to the Lawyer in Blue Jeans show. My name is Justin Isaac. Thank you for joining us today. And just to let everyone know kind of how the show works here, we don't do politics. And you get a lot of politics on 760 or during the week for anywhere you go, you hear politics. And we don't like that because it's annoying. Talk a little bit about lightings and interesting. I like to give out information. A lot of people don't know a lot of things about estate planning and other legal, aspects and controversies and things like that. So we like to talk about them and discuss them. So we have a great show for you today. We have a couple of interesting things to talk about with regards to home surveillance cameras, your right of privacy. And I'm sure everyone has seen those Ring cameras. That's mainly what we're going to be talking about. Also, some high-profile celebrities have conservatorships over them. What does that mean? But first, I kind of want to, and I know I said we don't talk about the controversial things and whatnot, but I do want to talk about something that's not a lot of people are going to really like to talk about. It's about Kellen Winslow Jr., and he's in the news. And this isn't a sports show, this isn't a political show, but it's a legal show, and he's in some legal trouble. He had, there's a couple of allegations of lewd conduct and forcing himself on wage 76 or 77, 86 years old, 59, 51. And, they're not the typical things that you would hear in the news. You usually hear about, sexual assault and things like that about younger women and stuff like that. And it's granted, it is a terrible thing. It is horrific no matter what age you are, but it's very unique because he's a San Diegan. I actually played against him in football back in high school. But I'm wondering the legal aspect of this because I've heard some people theorize that he might claim insanity or that might be his defense. Now, let's think about that from more recent things that we've heard with the NFL. Everyone knows about CTE and the damage that does to the brain, and what they're finding out that it has a very unique and damaging effect on your ability to a way he could claim insanity. And it's, I don't know, this is obviously not tested, but this is a brand new thing that the NFL is still denying that exists. Well, I guess they're not necessarily outright denying it anymore. I actually did my law school paper on CTE, the NFL, the responsibility. And I think it's an interesting topic because yes, they are, voluntarily playing this game to get millions of dollars and whatnot. But there's a very real issue with the constant bashing of the head in a football game or practice or anything like that. So it does develop over time, but there's still no way to find out about CTE until you pass away, and so until someone does an autopsy. So while I don't know if this is actually going to be brought up in the suit or in his defense, but I think that if Hernandez, the guy who was out there playing for the Patriots and also shooting people on the weekends, he had CTE, and 97% of people ever tested who played football and passed away had CTE. So it's still a very new field, a very new thing. So we don't know exactly what's going to happen. But I find it very interesting, and I'm going to watch this as we're going forward. But Kellen Winslow Jr., I guess former football player, just in case anyone who doesn't know or hasn't heard about this. And Kellen Winslow Sr. was a Charger player for years. He was adored and loved in this city. So to see, Kellen Jr. fall down this path, and again, nothing's been proven. These are all allegations still, but it's an unfortunate thing. So 1-800-760-KFMB, 1-800-765-36. We are live streaming on Facebook, facebook.com/lawyer-in-blue-jeans. And we are trying out YouTube Live today too. So let's hopefully it's gonna work out nicely. Now we're gonna talk about a couple of things here, privacy and conservatorships and whatnot, like I talked about in the beginning. But we also have our seminars coming up, our Living Trust Estate Planning seminars. We're in Poway on March 19th at 12:30 at Poway Community Library, El Cajon at the Ronald Reagan Community Center on March 19th at 7 p.m. And Carlsbad on the 20th at Carlsbad City Library at 1 p.m. And March 20th, Mission Valley, 7 p.m. at the Courtyard Marriott. And Chula Vista on the 21st, 10 a.m. That's going to be a hectic week. We've had a lot of requests for all of these locations, which is why we're going back to all these locations. And we've had a lot of requests for last month to do more seminars. So we decided to do them in the middle of March here. We probably won't have any for, maybe a couple of months after that, or a few months. So come out, go /events if you want to sign up. It's free, and we're just there to give out information. We want to be a resource for estate planning information and a lot of things you don't know. We have past clients. We have all kinds of judges and other attorneys who come check out our seminars because they're really meant to be educational. That's what we want to do, is kind of educate you about estate planning and the things that are going on within, how to protect yourself. That's our goal. We are an estate planning / asset protection firm. We want to make sure you protect your assets. And if you don't, then your family has to go to the courts and has to go to the government to find out what they can and can't do, which is not what a lot of people want. A lot of people want to have control and maintain control. So 1-800-760-KFMB, 1-800-760-5362. Okay, so let's get into home surveillance. Now, everyone has seen these videos of the new Ring cameras where you walk up to the camera on the actual doorbell, and that doorbell will give a notification to the person inside on their phone that says someone's at the door. And you can also watch the camera from wherever you are and record the video. Now, I thought it's a great technology. It's an amazing technology. There are some concerns, though. There's privacy concerns. There's, invasion of your neighbor's privacy. But people do weird things, and we're not going to talk about the weird too much. But we have. There's been all kinds of stories about. There was a guy caught licking a doorbell for like 3 hours, and it was all caught on video. So the people woke up, I guess, the next day and saw the video. I don't know why, but it's very creepy to think about, but we would have never known that unless we had this camera. So you kind of think, what we didn't know about? And it's a way of getting more information, I guess, but at the same time, do we want that information? Do you want to see a video of a clown knocking on your doorstep? Because there's a video of that too. I pulled up the 8 scariest things caught by Ring videos, and one of them was a clown in a yellow hazmat suit and holding a machete went and rang someone's doorbell, and then he left. Can you imagine what you would think if you saw that, or if your kids saw that? And so it's just I don't know. It's a hard thing. Privacy is definitely a bigger thing nowadays because we have less and less privacy. And I'm a big privacy expert advocate. I am a big fan of privacy, and I think we're losing it as we go along with more and more social media and the more exposure we have for all the technology that we have. We're losing our privacy. Mark's up on the hill every single week talking about how Facebook gave away your data to someone else. More congressional hearings. So privacy is definitely a big thing in the news right now, and a lot of people care about it because we have a right to privacy. And do we have a right to privacy of person to person, or right to privacy for governments? And I think that a lot of people would agree that we should have more privacy, but a lot of people don't know the rules about recording in public and things like that. So we're going to get into that a little bit more. We do have to take our first commercial break. This is the Lawyer and Blue Jean Show. Thank you for joining us on this Sunday morning, and we'll be back right after this.
AM 760 KFMB. Justin Isaac here with the Lawyer and Blue Jean Show. On our show, we discuss
I hate these commercials.
wacky laws.
I got to re-record these.
Be sure to tune in to our show every Sunday at 9 a.m. on AM 760. What we do is
that segment live on Instagram.
All right, let's talk about this.
It was hooked in, right?
Yeah, so they can't hear us.
Check us out online.
Was that funny? That one time it's weird. I hear you guys.
My daughter went from totally crazy to quiet, calm, and peaceful when Mom started going to Al-Anon Family Group.
It's great. Rachel just messages me all the time during the show. So if you hear me like quickly jump to something, it's right because of like her comments.
She's giving you stuff. Yeah.
So she said, "Who is Kellen Winslow?" That's why I pivoted to that really quick. But let's see what kind of reach we're looking at right now. Oh, decent reach already.
Yourself in your brand new multi-million-dollar home in the hills. This home could be yours.
It's just crazy because you get that data right away.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't with radio, you have no
Yeah,
idea.
that's so true. We our guy from A&E from George Wars got us some serious
Yeah.
like almost 5,000 on the reach. We've never had anything close to that. It's usually like 800 to 1,000.
You just have to focus on getting more known guests.
Well, he shared it too from his all three of his pages, which definitely helped.
Yeah, he has a lot of followers too.
Yeah, we need to get. God, I wonder what other San Diego influencers there are. I fucking hate that term, but
Or interesting people, really.
yeah.
Again, knowing that you are supporting. That's D raffle.
Okay, so these are good. Airbnb. That's creepy.
My first business startup in the 80s was a fledgling startup store.
And that's still going too, right?
Yeah.
Car had fault tires, house had broken windows. in
So I bought a
my-
camera for mine. I'll show you.
Diet of hot dogs and mac and cheese was to die for.
It was like I think
CEO of Patriot Software. My business startup was.
I need like a tech bag. This is ridiculous. There we go. So my goal was to set up on this little tripod, usually on the.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it was pretty good. Looks pretty good, pretty clear. So if I can just get the computer to work, but I'm
Or
pretty
you have
sure
another- do you have an extra phone?
I do, but the Wi-Fi wasn't good enough.
Okay.
Is there an
Crazy.
adapter?
It's crazy because I have 2 bars and we're doing pretty good on that.
Yeah, that usually holds on my data too, because that's what I'm running off of. But I don't have another phone to bring data to this, because I can't do data on both. But there's no.
Because I mean, your computer looks pretty new.
It's not bad. It's just I had
You
to.
can't use the like we're using on here. Because I'm using the internal camera.
No, I could use that. I just don't have any way to hook up the internet
Gotcha.
unless it's the Ethernet.
Do what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
I'm just running it. I'm running it off this.
But then how would I do the Facebook?
They would probably do both.
I tried doing the other phone that I had on data on both, and it didn't work.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
1-800-667-2003. They're one of the top 150 real estate teams in the country for a reason. Let's see. Sold by danbeer.com.
AM 760 KFMB. Now back to the Lawyer and Please on AM 760 KFMB.
Welcome back to the Lawyer in Blue Jeans Show. My name is Justin Isaac, and today we are talking, or at least as of right now, we're talking about privacy. 1-800-760-KFMB, 1-800-760-5362. Do you have a Ring camera on your house? What are some of the interesting things you've caught on your camera? That's what I'd like to know, because I'm sure everyone has seen something interesting, especially if you have a Ring camera. And these are the newest kind of craze, and they're pretty cost effective from what I've heard. My parents have one, and anytime someone kind of walks by, or a massive dog that's by the doorbell, it sets off and rings and goes nuts. But if you have one, give us a call and let us know something interesting that's happened. 1-800-760-KFMB, 1-800-760-5362. So this is a protection versus privacy kind of argument here. And we have a couple of examples of where it's good, but also where this can be kind of a nuisance. Because if you camera, or if you have personal surveillance or home surveillance in general, you do have to follow some rules. But let's talk about some interesting times that it's helped. So recently, an El Paso man, and we posted this article earlier too. An El Paso man was caught on video, an El Paso man caught a mailman on video spraying his dog with mace. Why? Now, I'm sure mailmen, this is kind of the old adage that mailmen get chased by the dog all the time. But to spray a dog with mace, is that necessary? The dog owner had installed cameras because he wanted to keep an eye on his teenage kids, but he noticed his dog was continually having issues with his eyes and lost 10 pounds in a month's time. So he went back to the video, and again, he wouldn't have been able to do this without the video, and he found out what was happening, and that was a mailman was spraying his dog with mace. That is, how upset would you be if you saw that? And when we posted that this week, someone commented that the United States Postal Service allows people to do that, allows mailmen to do that, or mail women, if they feel that it's necessary, in their discretion. So immediately my lawyer hat went on, and I thought, oh, there's a lawsuit coming. And not to mention, they're definitely going to sue the United States Postal Service because obviously they have the deeper pockets. That's what attorneys do. We're going to sue somebody. We're going to go for the deepest pockets. And I can only imagine. I know everyone loves their dogs. I agree. Dogs are great. They are part of the family. Can you imagine how you would feel? What if someone pepper sprayed a kid or maced one of your kids? Oh my God. Their parents and dog owners, lovers alike, that's just unthinkable. So, but that's only we know cameras. So that is really one of the best things about the camera is that you have access to this kind of stuff that you wouldn't normally have. Now let's flip it to the other side. Airbnb. Recently, a 45-year-old woman named Paige Blair was on a business trip and stayed in an Airbnb when she noticed a camera in the kitchen. Now, I stayed in an Airbnb a couple of times and maybe a few times, but they were really nice, and we checked them out and made sure before we stayed there. I had stayed in one in Morocco, of all places, actually, and another one in Spain. And it was really nice. It was really easy and pretty affordable. And it was kind of like living there, which was nice. It's not as formal as a hotel. Not granted, some of the things that you get at a hotel are nice, like, get your bed made every day and it's cleaner and there's a company behind it, not just a person. But Airbnb is a nice, affordable option. And you do run the risks of things like this happening. So she noticed a camera in the kitchen, this Paige Blair, when she was on her business trip. And if anyone doesn't know what Airbnb is, I guess I should explain. Airbnb is a company where you can rent a room or a house, and it's, you can do it for a couple of days, couple of weeks, couple of months, but it's people who own that property that rent it out just to people on the internet. So it's a nice, affordable way. And it's kind of a check against high costs for hotel rooms and things like that. So this person saw a camera within the kitchen, and she was really upset. And she left the Airbnb right away and was refunded the money. Then the homeowner came out and said that he understood why she was upset, but only put in 2 cameras because there have been recent break-ins. And then Airbnb claims that homeowners disclose there are common areas. Now, again, imagine going into a foreign place, just not a city that you know of, and having cameras recording you. That would be pretty upsetting, especially if you're a female. There's, you have concerns in general, but the fact that someone is recording or can watch you is a very unsettling feeling. And I don't like when people record in public. It's not a very nice thing to do, but it happens all the time and it's legal. My fiance, actually, she had someone who, when she used to work at Saks, crazy people come into restaurants, into retail stores and whatnot. And when you're a manager, you're stuck dealing with the crazy people. And people would just get right up in her face and record her 2 feet away from her face, and just all kinds of obscenities and just saying all kinds of Instagram live. Everyone's going live and showing their followers how their life really is, but it also has an effect where you can quote unquote dox someone, and that is a newer term. And if you don't know what that means kind of exposing someone's private information like phone number or their face and whatnot to the public and jeopardizing their health and safety. And this is a big thing that I just listened to a long podcast about too, on privacy with Twitter. And I think it's all relative. It all kind of connects together, because it's all, again, about privacy and how much privacy do you have when you're out in public. But especially when you rent an Airbnb, you should have privacy there. You should have an expectation of privacy. And if someone has cameras up, you don't. They said that there's only 2 cameras and that they were in the public areas or the common areas, but that's where it stops. I think we'd be hard pressed to find that's actually true. I just don't trust people when they say that. And it's a very unsettling feeling to know that someone can watch you, and you just have to be a little bit and made a complaint. And Airbnb said, "Oh, here's your money back." And that's where it ended. But I think that a lawsuit would look. I don't think lawsuits are the best way to go. I don't think lawsuits are the first thing you should do. But they're at your disposal for a good reason, because we want to make sure that your rights are protected and you have your interests protected. And there's 100 different reasons. So what do you think? 1-800-760-KFMB, 1-800-760-5362. When it comes to the privacy, I just want to, there was an interesting article that gave some tips about your cameras. Don't point your camera at neighbors. Okay, that makes sense. We're going to get into that in a bit. Share footage. When police get involved, it should be voluntary. Delete old footage and keep hackers out is a serious responsibility. And facial recognition isn't a product feature, it's a superpower. Now, this was an interesting article because it goes into Ring, and the owners of Ring, I think it was Amazon. Amazon has this new technology that has a facial recognition component to it as well, which is a little not, I don't know. That feels like we're watching Minority Report, that movie with Tom Cruise. But anyways, there was another suit with a bar in, I believe it was Wisconsin, Red Zone Sports Bar and Grill. They had a cease and desist letter sent to them from their neighbor because their surveillance cameras, they had to send it to a neighbor for having his home surveillance cameras pointed at the bar's parking lot. And I found this a little interesting because why? How does it hurt the bar to have surveillance cameras? Wouldn't you think, or to have surveillance cameras from someone else pointed at their parking lot? Wouldn't you think that you would want that? I mean, if I was a bar and I had my own surveillance cameras, I'm sure, wouldn't you want more just in case an incident comes up? Wouldn't you want to, I guess it's a matter of control, but even if you couldn't control it, if something comes up, you have this extra video camera that you can possibly go to, and you would think that you would want that, but I guess they didn't want that. And the neighbor resisted, and he kept on running the security cameras and saying that the law didn't apply to him with regards to this portion here. So should you be allowed to point your camera towards someone else? And now I know this is a little bit, but should I be able to point my security camera towards my neighbor? I would say no. Should I be able to point my security camera towards a common area like a parking lot or the front of a business? It might be more situational, in my opinion. It just really depends. But towards someone's house or someone's backyard, I'd say definitely no, because that feels like an invasion of privacy. It should not be allowed. But I guess it all depends. If it's incidental, what if it's an accident? What if they didn't mean to point it towards there? What if a bird hit it and then it got knocked towards there? Should they be at fault for that? I don't know. Give us a call. 1-800-760-KFMB, 1-800-760-5362. That music means we have to go to our next break. Give us a call if you want to join in, and we'll be back right after this.
AM 760 KFMB.
So I gotta make sure we have good YouTube
Yeah, because of privacy or
copyright. Yeah, we had like 3 videos already demonetized because which we're not going to get any money anyways. But
yeah, I mean,
but it's something to think about going forward. If we do get followers, then we want to make sure that we don't
yeah, I mean,
disqualified
unless
automatically.
you're gonna monetize, because I mean, you have to have thousands and thousands of subscribers.
Yeah, that's
to
what
really-
that's what I know. Yeah.
Well, once you get there, I guess you have to figure that out. You have to get licensed.
Yeah. Look at that weird. He had 6 shares on this stream.
Are you getting the Instagram?
On my phone, yeah.
Want to be a house guest on Big Brother? What? CBS and Barrels Point Miramar want to make it happen. Show us your best stuff in 2 minutes or less at the Big Brother casting call Sunday, March 24th from 11 to 2. Get a juicy plot and inside.
Yeah, that Ring Central thing.
Details and to
Yeah, I can't Airbnb. That would be good.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. Rachel would never stay in one because she's like
If you're considering a kitchen or
particular. Let's
Yeah.
just say that. I don't want to say high strung or needy or a pain in the ass because that would be mean. So she's particular.
Did you hear about that?
Oh, just on live stream.
Yes. There's a Vice, which is an interesting conversation. There was a Vice article written about a guy that had a hotel, like a motel.
Yeah.
And he put cameras in every room.
Oh,
and he was watching as an experiment. And he wasn't like creeping out, and that was the whole thing. It went into his psychology. He was just like trying to see human behavior and what humans would do.
Isn't that interesting though? Because if you think about that, that's always a pretext for verbal.
Yeah.
What we can do. Let's create a eugenics program in Nazi Germany and really see what humans are capable of. That's the kind of stuff that happens based on science and the trying to advance the human race. You can justify crazy things if you have some kind of altruistic.
And that's what the article is. I'll dig it up for you so you can read it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's really long.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Just like
Oh, no,
the insight to this guy's mind,
I love
taking a risk like that. Like,
I love privacy, and I consider myself a big libertarian. So libertarians are, and not really in the political sense, but in the sense that privacy and
that's why I stopped
government.
posting stuff about my kid, like
Yeah.
on Facebook.
Yeah, we talked
People
about
are
that.
like, what's going on? Like, I haven't really seen any posts from you. I'll post maybe like something that's something about other information,
Yeah,
but I don't post about family or.
yeah, no, none of that. Like I post pictures of Rachel and I, but they're all private. Granted, that's all relevant. Kid, I think that I'm probably not going to. She said something like, I have nothing to hide, so I don't care if they look at my emails or listening. And I said, that is the worst thing the worst mindset you can ever have, because saying that you have, so Edward Snowden said this, I love it. Saying that you have nothing to hide so you don't care about privacy is like saying that you have nothing to say so you don't care about free speech.
Yeah.
It's such a bad way of thinking, and it's unfortunately a popular one, And so I think my dad even said that one time too. I just don't I don't like the notion that we have no seclusion, no privacy until we get out into the woods, and that's great. But that's how technology is going, So
Well, yeah, I switched over to an encrypted email service.
Oh, did you?
From Gmail, because Gmail is listening, and I passed tax documents and security on that, like be open to hackers. So even though you don't have anything to hide, you have your social security numbers, you have like your kids' information, you have like income, like all this stuff that could be publicly released if it was hacked.
Yeah.
Or and Google has it.
Yeah. And
Google's the worst. Google is the worst.
There was a new article that I wanted to read. That I've saved so many like documentaries from Reddit about from the libertarian libertarian Reddit about privacy and Google and Facebook and all that stuff. So I have a lot to catch up on stuff, but I know how bad it is, and I know that every single week, I swear to God, it seems like Facebook released more data unknowingly for us, or just they just don't care.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Or somebody accessed it.
Yeah. Yeah. And but how do we solve that?
And for my business, it's like it's slippery slope because we use it to get to people for your seminar.
Yeah. Exactly.
So like.
So that is the interesting part, is that you're a privacy advocate, yet
I have to use it for my business.
Yep, exactly. And me too. I personally believe in a lot of privacy, and I think that we should have as much privacy as we can take.
So Messenger listens to your messages. They have the algorithm set up. So if you put in like, I'm looking for a car to a buddy, that like, and then you get an article or an ad for a new car.
100 times we've talked about something, Rachel and I, and then it just pops up, and we're like,
it'll be interesting to see what ads we get from this.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Welcome back to the Lawyer and Blue Jean Show. My name is Justin Isaac, and we're talking about privacy. I kind of want to wrap this up, but we have a couple more things, with regards to the privacy and some of the things we've already talked about. The Ring app actually helped when a few kids found a wallet and this allowed us to see this video because it was caught on the Ring cam, but a few kids found a wallet with $700 cash and returned it to the owner and kind of explained to them through the camera, hey, we have we found your wallet and all this cash, and I'm sure you want it back. So he, of course, took it back, and we got to see it. It's a nice little gesture, and maybe the youth isn't all that bad. But it's, again, with regards to the cameras, with regards to privacy, you can't, you can do whatever you want in your home to a certain extent. We can go into that later on too. What that record in your home. California is a bilateral audio recording state, if I'm not mistaken, meaning both people have to agree to be recorded for things to be recorded. Other states are unilateral, where just one person has to agree, and that would be usually just the person who's recording. So, I don't know. 1-800-760-KFMB, 1-800-760-5362. Give us a call if you want to chime in on this, or if you have an opinion. Again, let's pivot, actually. Let's go to conservatorships. And conservatorships are something that sometimes you can't really plan for. And a conservatorship, in case you're unaware, is where the courts will appoint someone to have control over another one's affairs and decision-making skills. And this is a very difficult type of legal case, because what we're doing is we're taking the rights away from an individual and giving them to someone else. Now, granted, we might need to do that sometimes. Sometimes people will not be in the right state of mind, or might want to hurt themselves, or can't make appropriate decisions, or have dementia, or have Alzheimer's, or something like that. Or they might have an episode. And there's been some very public people who have had conservatorships, like Britney Spears and Amanda Bynes. And if you don't know who they are, well, you should know who they are. But they're singers and movie stars and whatnot. And Amanda Bynes actually had a conservatorship appointed over her in 2014. She was having some issues with pills and drugs and alcohol. And someone was appointed to be her conservator because of the issue and the episode that she had. And same thing with Britney Spears. This is probably the more public one, because she had a very, very public episode, maybe 10 years ago or so, where she shaved her head and did all this other stuff like that. But in the news, her conservator, which is her dad and her attorney, they were co-conservators. One of them is stepping down. Her attorney is stepping down as a conservator, and he is now, it's going to be the dad 100%. So I thought this is interesting because without the proper planning, without the proper estate plan, you would need to go to the courts to get a conservator appointed, or it would be a long, dragged out kind of situation where you're in the courts for a very long period of time. But Britney Spears, when she had her episode, her father and her attorney took over as co-conservators over her estate and been managing her business for a long time now. And they've done looks like a pretty good job. She's back and she's popular again and making a lot of money. And we got access to a little bit of the records and saw how much she made, pretty decent amount of money last year. I think it was like $15 million or so. But now that her attorney is stepping away, it's just going to be her father. And yes, that is usually a good thing to have a parent or a loved one be a conservator and not necessarily a professional fiduciary or something like that. But we've also heard of situations. But the fact that her dad is helping out now is a good thing. But I found it interesting of how much her attorney was making. Andrew Wallet was the former co-conservator. Looks like he got $100,000 bonus on his way out, and he was making $35,000 a month as a conservator. That is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. What is that? $4.2 million a year? $35,000? No, $420,000 a year. Whew. I mean, I don't know how active he is, but let's talk about what a conservatorship is. You can have what's called a limited conservatorship or a general conservatorship. And we don't like to, but if someone needs help, we're of course going to help them. And so you have a general conservatorship, which is just anything in general that they need help with, medical, financial decisions. And then you might have a limited conservatorship where it's just for smaller things or, not as much as the general scope of the general conservatorship would be. But that is an interesting topic because if you have a power of attorney, if you have an advanced healthcare directive, which, by the way, you have in your estate plan, or you should have in a properly created estate plan, call us if you want us to check out your information or your documents for you. But a power of attorney has someone appointed there for conservatorship if it comes to that. And if you don't have those documents in place ahead of time, then you must go to court. And conservatorships are not cheap. Some attorneys charge up to $10,000, $15,000 to do one. And remember, folks, we only have in San Diego in the probate courts, we have 3.4 million people and only 3 judges. So we have 1 judge assigned for every million people. That is just insane. Million plus, of course. But that's insane to think about. And these judges don't just deal with people who don't have a power of attorney. They have to deal with minor kids who the parents didn't have a proper estate plan, or someone who didn't have a trust. If you don't have a trust, you're going to probate if you have assets, if you have minor kids. So remember, these things take a long, long time too. It might be 9 months or so to get a conservatorship done. And if you have something in place ahead of time, it's relatively quick, if not instant. So make sure you plan, make sure you prepare, and make sure you come see us at the seminars. 1-800-760-KFMB, 1-800-760-5362. Go to Lawyer in Blue Jeans /events if you want more information. But we're in Poway and El Cajon on March 19th at 12:30 and 7 p.m. respectively. Carlsbad and Mission Valley on the 20th, 1 p.m. and 7 p.m. And then Chula Vista on the 21st at 10 a.m. So sign up, come see us. It's free. Come get some information, and hopefully you'll walk out knowing a little bit more than you did before you walked in. So looks like we have to go to our last break. We have covered a lot of information here, but give us a call if you want to. 1-800-760-KFMB, 1-800-760-5362. This is the Lawyer in Blue Jeans show. We'll be back right after this. God, I'm saying so way too much.
AM 760 KFMB.
Have you received your February stores? Now, if you had new Milgard windows,
Yeah, I didn't really expect
windows last
that many, but I thought 1 or 2.
save money. Called Newman Replacement Windows and replace your old drafty windows and doors. Start saving money. Now, you know Newman. They never subcontract. Everything's done in-house. 100% lifetime warranty on labor. 100% lifetime warranty on all Milgard products. And this month, you save $200 off the MSRP on
Seems to be good.
energy efficient Milgard final windows with a minimum purchase.
No calls, huh?
Yeah, it's all right though. We only have
Yeah, I think the time.
we only have a few minutes on the way back, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we will have 7 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's a fair amount of time.
Less than 570-472.
We'll talk about Luke Perry.
Luke Perry. Oh,
Yeah,
he just passed away, huh?
yeah.
Good old 90210.
Policies issued by American General Life
Oh,
Insurance
phone
Company,
call.
Houston, Texas. Not available in all states. For details, visit AIGdirect.com.
Do you have a family? Would you like to help make sure they'll be taken care of if anything were to happen to you? If you answered yes, you probably need life insurance. Now, do you think life insurance is expensive? If you answered yes to that too, you definitely need to give AIG Direct a call. We could find you a $250,000
showing up
policy
live
for
in
just
stream
$14 a
Is
month,
it?
which
Yeah.
means you could save hundreds of dollars
Gives you
a
a
year.
little like play
Call
button
us
for
now for a
Instagram.
free
Yeah.
no
Just wanted
obligation
to make sure that it was working.
1-800-400-5008. Since
I'm not sure the
1995,
quality.
we've helped millions of people find out if they could save up to 70%
That's
on
the
their
bummer
term
about
life
live.
insurance.
It's like
See how
sometimes the
affordably
quality
we
and
can
you
help
just
you
get
protect
disinterested
your
in it.
family.
Yeah.
Call AIG Direct now.
Oh, we got no viewers on this one though.
5008.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's fine. You don't have any.
70%.
You have
That's
one subscriber, which is me.
Oh, I thought it was me. I gotta subscribe.
Maybe you have two.
1,000 of you are going to win the utility lottery and be switched to the new
Yeah,
time
the
use
subscribers
rate
get the
zero.
notification
Don't
too.
worry if your name's not picked first. They will slowly be switching 750,000 of us over the next 12 months. And as you probably guessed, your electric bill's going up again. 80% federal tax credit stepping down after this year. High summer bills right around the corner. And these new time of use rates.
Oh, I forgot to do a host a watch party.
Is a good investment for your home, business, or church.
Oh, on your page.
If you're
Yeah.
tired of being sold solar and would prefer to be educated by one of the most experienced names in San Diego, call the local name you can trust and find out why thousands of homeowners and well-known companies like Waxy and Goodwill San Diego have chosen Palomar Solar. Call Palomar Solar at 760-504-0388 or visit palomarsolar.com. That's 760-504-0388 or palomarsolar.com.
The San Diego Gold Show is back by popular demand, happening this week, March 11th through March 14th. Admission is free, no tickets required. Get paid.
Oh, so you're connected on there, right?
Gold jewelry, chains, gold coins, gold
2 calls.
coins,
Oh my God.
anything
Yeah.
gold. Plus, sterling silverware sets. 2 locations in the San Diego area, Rancho Bernardo with the information on showtime.
You get to go to your page.
Yeah.
The content has to show up in your feed.
Reported information line at 619
Like on your page, and you can say watch. So
Okay.
maybe as you scroll through.
619-350-2019, 619-350-2019, or SanDiegoGoldShow.com.
Oh, it says
is
boost
your
unavailable.
chance
That's what I was
to
gonna look at.
broken or unused gold
I don't know
jewelry
why.
into instant cash. It's the San Diego Gold
Maybe
Show,
because
March
it's
11th
got-
through the 14th. Visit
This post can't be
SanDiegoGoldShow.com.
boosted.
Call 619-350-2019, SanDiegoGoldShow.com.
Maybe after, probably. You should be able to boost it during the show.
I agree.
The Lawyer in Blue Jeans on AM 760 KFMB.
Welcome back to the Lawyer in Blue Jeans Show. My name is Justin Isaac. We are talking about powers of attorney, conservatorships. We are talking about a couple of calls. I'm going to try and get through them before the end of the show here. And I think people probably are just kind of waking up from this fall back or daylight savings time. I can't stand daylight savings time. But anyways, let's go to Mary in San Diego. Mary, how you doing? Good. How can we help you? Mhm. Mhm. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Mhm. Ooh. So did you? Okay, so Mary, let me ask you: have they told you exactly what they're looking for? No, I know, but okay. So what I mean is, have they said specifically what they're looking for within the medical directive that will give you the power that they're looking for? Because that's kind of where I would go with that. Okay. So Mary, sorry. Let me get your information, and I'm going to give you a phone number of an attorney that might be able to help, and you can give them a call because that is a very specific question that it's we're dealing with the government. Remember that too, and they're not as willing to help. You don't. Unfortunate worker acts like this, but sometimes they don't have any repercussion for not being able to or for not helping as much as a customer service in a private organization would. So Mary, we're going to get your information, and I'm going to get you some information for an attorney that might be able to help you out. So let's go to Bessie in Mission Hills. Bessie, how you doing? Not a problem. Mhm. Well, it's kind of yes, kind of no. So with a will, it is going to go to probate, and the court's going to validate your will and make sure it is distributed according to your wishes, unless that will is found to be invalid for whatever reason. But if it's done by an attorney, then I would hope that it's done correctly and it won't have any issues. So if you don't really have somewhere for that money to go to, then a will would be sufficient if you're okay with the government being in control. Some people, even if they're giving money to a charity, they want their assets to be distributed through a trust and maintain control by the people that they know. So it's a matter of personal preference. Your assets, your estate is going to go through the courts. It's going to take a long time. Usually takes a couple of years, but ultimately will go to what your will says, as long as your will isn't defeated or found to be invalid for whatever reason. So, uh yeah, yeah, and that's usually a smaller estate is definitely going to go a lot quicker. And Bessie, thank you very much for the call. We appreciate it. We do have to get out of here in a minute, but yes, if you have a smaller estate, it will not be in court for that long. Usually, less than $150,000 can go pretty quickly. But if you have more than $150,000 in total assets, it's going to take a little bit longer, and it's going to go through the courts. If you have property, if you have minor children, then it's definitely going to take a lot longer. And 2 is average because remember, it is for 3.5 million people, 3.4 million people. I swear we have to be at least 4 million at this point because it feels like there's so many people out there. But thank you very much, Bessie, for the call. And oh, look at that. Show is pretty much done now. So look, if you want more information about estate planning, if you want more information about powers of attorney and wills and trusts and how this all kind of works, come see us. We have our seminars coming up. Go to lawyerinbluejeans.com for more information. lawyerinbluejeans.com/events if you want to be specific. This has been the Lawyer in Blue Jeans show. We've had a great show. Thank you very much for our callers, and we will see you next week, Sunday at 9 a.m. Have a good weekend.
Cool. That goes by fast.
Dude, that went by really fast. End stream?
End stream. See what